Wouldn't it be amazing if all our personal fears, obstacles, and insecurities disappeared? The answer is no. By the end of this talk, I would like you to radically rethink how you perceive the obstacles in your life. The same obstacle will either paralyze or rocket your potential, depending on one question: will you face it? By the way, I'm using a breathing technique to control my stutter. So if anyone here is called Luke, I am your father. While I am now able to joke about this, I used to be incredibly self-conscious about being different. And the world often validated my negative beliefs. Once at a party as a teenager, I meet this girl and we hit it off. We start holding hands, and then she asks me, "What is your name?" My name used to be the most difficult word for me to say. So I reply with "J." And as I am struggling to tell her who I am, she lets my hand go and walks away. Was it something I didn't say? This basic act of speaking that everyone else did so effortlessly was mission impossible to me. I avoided every speaking situation that I could. And those I couldn't filled me with shame, embarrassment, and anger. I hated myself. Something had to change. Robert Frost once said, "The only way out is through." To me, that meant the only way I would ever overcome this would be by repeatedly doing what I feared the most: speaking. First, I learned this breathing technique. And for the first time in my life, I had some control over this chaotic nightmare. Then I joined Toastmasters to overcome the fear of public speaking. And it was terrifying at first. In university, I joined the debating club, where I realized that what I say matters far more than how quickly I say it. Last year, I competed in 2 public speaking competitions, and I came first in both of them. Something my younger self would have deemed an absurd impossibility. Most recently, I've even started doing stand-up comedy, and I've since performed in Toronto, Montreal, and New York. I always warn my audience at the comedy club that my performance will be full of suspense. Stuttering in one language was not enough for me. I stutter in 6 of them. I stutter in English. Je bégaye en français. Tartamudeo en español. Basically, I now get to test people's patience internationally. I am still at the beginning of my journey. And to be honest, I constantly go through ups and downs. But every time the negative emotions of my former self arise, which is often, I challenge myself by going outside, approaching 100 complete strangers, and we'll have a quick conversation. Well, obviously the conversations aren't that quick. This exercise is uncomfortable, tough, and vulnerable. But it is through repeatedly exposing myself to the source of my fear that I overcome these obstacles through the magic of desensitization. What was once traumatizing becomes a bit less scary every time we do it. I confront my fear one word at a time. And while my stutter is visible, yours may not be obvious. The truth is, you all have an inner stutter that might hold you back in life. when you want to speak up in a group and yet you remain quiet, that's your stutter. When you have this great business idea, but what you block on the execution, that's your stutter. When you find someone attractive or interesting, and yet you don't even say hello, that's your. Every time we succumb to our stutter, we shrink our destiny by stripping away countless possibilities. That person you did not say hello to could have been a great friend, a business partner, or a soulmate. When, however, we face the fear and experience the uncomfortable, our potential and realm of possibilities grow exponentially. We truly become the makers of our destiny. For so long, I had chosen isolation. I held back for the same reasons you might hold back. I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of success. By being here today, I am showing you that you can all look at your biggest fear in the eye and face it. Because when we realize that the only way our fear stops controlling us is when we act in spite of it, we start allowing that same fear to work for us. We start acting because of it, thanks to it. My worst fear has become my biggest asset. We should not expect to be rewarded every time we confront a fear. No. Rejection and failure are inevitable. But with every little fear-defying action that we take, we grow stronger and transform our lives in a way that far exceeds what we would have achieved if all our personal fears, obstacles, and insecurities disappeared. The great Stoic philosopher Aurelius once said, "The obstacle that was once in the way becomes the way." Today, my obstacle brought me to this stage. Where will your obstacle take you? Thank you.